Good evening and welcome to another Ben Jacobson Photo New School Photography video review. This review I just wanted to talk really quick about my typical landscape setup and just some of the things I bring with me that have really changed the way I shoot, more in terms of how quickly I can set up than anything else. But this is actually my film body. It's my A2 because I'm recording this with my 5D Mark II. It's got a 17-40 on it. This is my Enduro CT313 tripod with an Arca Swiss P0 head. It's got a really right stuff L bracket, and normally the 5D Mark II has a really right stuff L bracket on it. This just has a random plate on it that works in this head. And then I have down here, this is my f-stop Loca it's a shallow medium insert, which gives you plenty of room. I have a 7300 14mm 2.8. My filters, my body normally sits right here, and then plenty of room for other stuff above it. So to walk through the other things I use, one of the big things I use, and it's a new item for me recently, is a Velo Shutter Boss. And this is basically a knockoff of Nikon's really good intervalometer, in that it works on any body. They make them for Sony, they make them for Pentax, just any body you can get them for. This one happens to be the Canon version for I forget what this pin is called, but it's the 3 pin that makes it hard to use in terms of it has to be custom made for Canon. There will be a full review on this in a little while, but the nice thing is it's very fast to set up. I've had the Canon legit version before, and it has a little wheel on the side that makes it very fidgety in terms of setting times. The screen's much smaller. The Canon takes really funky batteries, but this one takes 2 AAAs, which are really nice. And it just works well. It'll do self-timer, how long you want it delayed, how long you want it. So when I do 10-stop exposures, I just set 4 minutes on this and it does it for me. The interval, so how long between photos, the number of frames. So for star trail stacking, I'll just put in that you can set it to dash mode where it just keeps going until you turn it off, and then you can make it beep or not. You can also turn the light on the face of it. So it's a really nice remote. You can get it for any body. You get them from B&H. Great little remote, much better than the full-fledged Canon version or the knockoffs you see at like Deal Extreme or those other places. I've never used the Nikon version, but I assume it's very, very similar. The next step, I'll actually show you the lens cap first. I've switched all my landscaping lenses over to Lenscoat neoprene lens caps. They just slip on, you can see they slip off. And the reason for that is I use Lee adapter rings on my setup for the filters, and you can't snap a lens cap in there anymore. So this is a 77mm wide-angled ring, which you need for this lens. Once you put your rings on, you can't put lens caps on, and it's inconvenient to have to unthread that every time you want to use your filters. So I've switched it out to the neoprene hood, and then this is an Adorama Slinger filter wallet. I've tried a lot of different filter wallets. There's one from Low Pro I'll share a link to, and the Lee 10 filter wallet, and both are rather big and cumbersome. This is nice and small. It fits in most of my jacket pockets. So big fan of this holder for the filters, and then this is the filter holder to hold the filters on camera. And then you can also tell I've actually modified that. There's 2 little screws on the bottom, because even with the 2mm spacers in there, I've had my Lee circular polarizer fall right out the bottom when I was just setting up and it was in the holder. It slid out, hit a rock, and shattered because they are glass. So 2 little stops. I'll share links to that as well. They cost me like 25 cents at the hardware store. Screwed those in, and now the first filter can't fall out and the grads can still be adjusted. And like I said, that's the Lee wide ring in 77 for the 17-44, and then this is the Lee Foundations kit. And then once you open this, there's 5 slots in here, and then each slot I have a filter in a Lee velvet envelope. I just like these envelopes because I can pull them out and still have them in something, so I don't have to reach in and put my fingers on them to slide them out. I know you still have to reach in here, but it just seems it's another step to protect these filters. They're not cheap, and they're hard to find, so I do like to take care of them. So once you pull your filters out, I'll show you really quick. There's the screws are holding that up. So, and then I'll just take my little velvet envelope, tuck it back in the bag. Then the next 3 are grads. They're tall enough you can actually, as you pull them out, you can actually just leave the rest of the envelope in there. And then they go in like that. So then you can see you have a camera, tripod set up, and that's on there. And then the nice thing is, when I want to walk someplace and set up for the next shot, I'll actually just pop this off. I generally keep a fleece hat in my backpack, so I can just stuff this in the fleece hat, because exposure to exposure, you're going to need similar filters every morning. So that way I don't have to take these in and out of the wallet again and again. So I'll just stick that in a hat, walk to the next spot, leave that up there. If it's salty, I'll put the cap back on. And then when I get to the next shot, you just snap that back on and away you go. So yeah, this Adorama holder has been a good holder for me. They're $15. It's Adorama branded, so that's really the only place you can get it. And then the filters, I know, are hard to track down. So I try to post about it whenever I find them coming in stock places. I know especially the 10 stopper is very hard to get a hold of. But yeah, that's my basic landscape kit. I keep a 70 to 300 in the bag in case I see something far away I like. I really don't find a need for a mid-range personally. I know it works really well for a lot of people, but I'm a wide-angle guy. So I use a 5D Mark II, which I have my film body here in place of for the recording. 17 to 40 Lee filters and holders. A f-stop Loca camera bag with the shallow, medium-sized ICU. The shallow means a non-gripped, non-1 series type body fits in that. They do make inserts that are big enough to hold the bigger bodies. I just don't need it. Gives me more space for other stuff. And then a couple other things real quick is I have a Think Tank Pixel Pocket Rocket, which holds all my compact flash cards. And then I keep a Lee cleaning cloth and their cleaning solution in here. This is actually one of the first Lee products I bought just because it was $14. And I figured if it was good enough for Lee, it wouldn't scratch my filters at the time. And I've since upgraded to Lee filters, so big fan of their stuff now when you can find it, and especially because iTechs are now basically the same price. So hopefully this video helped you just see what I shoot with really quick. It's a fairly basic setup. I've swapped bodies between full frame and cropped, and the lenses between a 17 to 40 and a 10 to 20. And there's not that much difference for image quality. I actually shoot full frame for other reasons than landscaping. So hopefully this helps you see how I shoot. I'm really a big fan of simplifying every step in this procedure as much as possible, because I'm out at 4 in the morning doing this. So it's just really nice to be able to not be fidgeting with a lot of small little parts. So hopefully that helps. Ben Jacobson for benjacobsonphoto.com and newschoolphotography.com. Thank you.